Welcome to Tea and Tarot with me, your host, Yashna. Each week I'll share what I've learned as I dive deeper into the world of tarot. I've got my cards in front of me, my cup of tea, and I can't wait to share this journey with you. This is Tea and Tarot.
Hello and welcome to Tea and Tarot with me, Yashna. This week we are really kicking off the journey for the Minor Arcana. We're going to dive into our first two cards, the Ace and Two of Wands. And like I mentioned last time, we're not doing the full tarot spreads at the end of the episodes. We're doing a weekly card draw instead. And because the Minor Arcana don't have as much history and as much random trivia content to cover as the Major Arcana did, I will be doing 2 cards per episode instead of just 1. And then that way we can also get through all 56 cards in the deck a little quicker, because otherwise that will be at least a year out. And knowing how often I take random hiatuses, maybe 2 years out. So hopefully this will keep us at a good pace to get through these cards in a pretty timely order. I am filming this a little late in the afternoon today, and I've been trying to reduce some of my caffeine intake, and so I don't actually have a tea in front of me today. So sorry to the tea and tarot bit, but we have tarot and we can pretend my water in my Owala is a tea of some sort. It is just a leaf-free tea. Do with that what you will. Okay, let's jump into it. So starting off with the Ace of Wands, generally this card is all about beginnings, starting something new. Wands represent passion, intuition, and action. So at a high level, this card is really going to be about sparking new passion, pushing new action, and bringing new ideas to life. In the Rider-Waite deck, this card is all about enterprise and new beginnings. You can see a hand coming out of a cloud holding a huge wand. In this deck, this is the only wand card that has these leaves and buds coming out of the wand, and that really represents new ventures and something blooming. There are 18 total leaves, which may relate to the 18th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. I'm going to pronounce this wrong. I'm so sorry. Tzadi, which means hope. The scenery in the background of the card shows purple mountains, which signify spiritual goals. There's a castle on top of one of those mountains symbolizing ambition and the dream that's being aspired to. And the way the wand is held over the valley, or like above the valley, can represent protection over the valley or for this dream. And it could also kind of showcase like a hand holding out a tool to go venture into this new land and drive this person to success. Jumping into the meaning from the Lightseer's guidebook, I'm going to start by reading the story that's written out in the Tarot for Lightseer's guidebook, as I did with the Major Arcana as well. The Ace of Wands pulsates with bright inspiration. Within her cosmic mind are all the sparks for every brilliant new idea that exists, and her mind flashes perpetually. Her creativity and wisdom are connected to a universal consciousness that creates a delightfully magical soup from which ideas and inspiration can emerge. You may see her magic as being the Akashic records, the genesis of the imagination, or even the creative muse herself. Or you may simply notice the jeweled beads that weave their way in and out of her great sea of ideations. These beads are from Indra's net, which, according to Vedic and Buddhist philosophy, is a connected set of jewels that line the cosmos. Each node is a mirrored bead that contains and reflects all the information of all the other beads within the holographic universe. There is a pure and illuminated conscious creativity here, and a reminder of all the interconnectedness of all things. One idea seeds the next, just as one spark of inspiration ignites your actions. When one invents, others see and mirror what's possible. The Ace of Wands interrupts you with a giggle and a tsk. Your very cerebral process of trying to define her creative mojo is slowing her down. She opens her eyes and breathes her most important secret out into the ether. Connected sparks. How will you use the inspiration that you have been gifted? If we look at the symbols on the card, there is a flame. That is the spark of ideas, creativity, and sacral energy. The connected beads are from Indra's net, and it's really a Vedic philosophy of oneness. The cosmos of creativity are kind of shown with the eyes closed, imagining. She is the personification of the collective unconsciousness, the field, the holographic universe, the muse, where ideas come from. And on the side, you can see planted is the seed of life, which is really seeds of ideas, inception. So that's kind of breaking down the Ace of Wands and how it's represented in both of these decks that I've been talking through. The optimistic light seers meaning from this card is I seed my brilliant future with the roots of creativity and inspiration. These words have been said a bunch through this, but really this card is all about that surge of raw inspiration, fresh creative sparks, and the universal seed of infinite potential. In the upright position, this card has a couple different pockets of meanings. New ideas, that sudden aha moment or breakthrough. Inspiration, so the arrival of brilliant, illuminated creative energy. It talks about potential and the spark needed to manifest what you are setting your mind to. And interconnectedness, a reminder that your thoughts are connected to a larger cosmic consciousness. In the reverse position, this card could mean creative blocks, feeling uninspired or stuck in your thought process, burnout, being exhausted from unfocused energy and it being a signal for a need for rest. Or a reset. You are being prompted to take a step back, quiet your mind, and actively seek new and fresh inspiration to re-spark that creativity in your mind. And that's the Ace of Wands. That's kind of all I've got on that card. So we're going to jump into the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands dives more into making choices and planning for your future to achieve your goals. We're moving from Ace to Two, but still focused around passions and creativity. In the Rider-Waite deck, the Two of Wands shows a man holding a globe in his right hand and a wand in his other. He is standing in that castle, presumably the same one we saw in the Ace of Cards imagery, and he's looking out at his surroundings. He holds the wand from the base so that it goes above his head, representing extension into the future. There's a second wand on his other side, and typically the depiction of a man between the two wands is similar to a portal, and it's meant to signify stepping into a doorway into new experiences. There are two wands total, like I said. One is tied to a wall and the other is in his hand, showing a choice between staying safe versus going on a new trip. The globe he holds in his hand is meant to show control and show big goals ahead, conquering the world in a way. And on the castle walls is an emblem with roses and lilies carved on it, which is a mix for passion and pure intent. Jumping into the Lightseer deck, there is a woman also with two wands. She's kind of in between both of them. Again, kind of like a doorway, a symbol. There's also a globe. I'm going to jump into all of these symbols once again, but first we're going to read the story from the Tarot for Lightseers guidebook around the Two of Wands. She sits in the same window as always, looking out over the endless possibilities that could be. The twos in tarot often hold a choice, a duality. Should she stay or should she go? With her fiery passion to experience the mysteries of new places, she dreams up possible futures. Sometimes she feels like she's watching her life happen instead of experiencing it, especially when she witnesses others bring their dreams to life while she merely imagines her own new adventures. What would change if she took a chance on this dream? Could she really bring this idea to fruition? One wand points outward to the horizon with a definite yes. It reminds her that you only live once. YOLO, sweet light. Life is yours for the taking, and if you want that thing, you'll need to go for it. The other wand is tucked quietly into the corner and is rooted in place. It's cozy, secure, and consistent. It already knows exactly what it's like to be right here, and believes they could likely be contented forever. It would be so easy to just stay. So as you can tell, a lot of the stories, a lot of the symbols are very similar to what we just talked about from the Rider-Waite deck. You have wands, one pointing home, the other to the future, adventure, symbolizing your two choices. There's a bus and globe that represent dreams, plans, travel. The lights point to the future, showing opportunity outside that window. There's a yellow sky, which represents sunny, but also the heart chakra for desires. The orange is more for potential, happiness, and positivity. Like I mentioned in the Rider-Waite deck, this card really is all about kind of making the choice of, do you venture into something new or do you stay content with where you are right now? And neither might be the wrong choice. They could both be the right choice, but you have to decide. The optimistic light year's meaning is, the world is full of opportunities for adventure, and I welcome them into my life with planned action. This card represents planning your future, making progress, and choosing between your comfort zone and those new ventures. In the upright position, this card could mean future planning, mapping out your next step and setting those long-term goals. It talks about activation, so stepping out of some of that stagnant energy to move forward, and making a big choice about whether you want to be safe or step into an exciting unknown journey. In the reverse position, this card could mean fear of the unknown, feeling insecure or worried about what comes next, feeling stuck in the past and hesitating to take action because of self-doubt. And it could mean over-planning, getting trapped in analysis paralysis and not being able to make a move. And that's all I got on the Two of Wands. Like I kind of said at the beginning, going through the minor arcana will be a little quicker per card. There's not as much random trivia, random tidbits that I'm going to be covering like I used to with the major arcana. But it's pretty exciting to go through these cards together. We're going to end today's episode by doing our weekly, I'm starting to stop saying daily, card draw. And we're going to see what message is carrying us into this week. So enjoy some shuffling ASMR. It would be really funny if I drew the Ace or the Two of Wands right now. I feel like the odds of that happening are extremely low, but let's see. Manifesting energy for this week for myself and for all of you. We're going to just split the deck and then draw the card. Justice. So not a minor arcana card and not one of the wand cards. We're jumping back into the major arcana, Justice. It's been a while since I've dived into this deck, and wow, I just flipped the book straight to Justice. That was not intentional, and that was not expected at all. But let's see. But we're going to keep the message from Justice really simple. Justice asks you to look to your past, to learn from the good, learn from the bad, and use that to create a balance as you look forward. Think about if there's something you need to rectify. Think about if there's any karma you need to rebalance in your life and do that. Learn from the good times and learn from the bad as well. You can't have one or the other. You need to have both because you need darkness to let the light shine, and you need light to understand that the darkness won't last forever. And Justice really asks you to learn from all of that and move forward with a more balanced, honest self. Your best opportunities for growth and success will integrate both optimistic positivity and curiosity about your own actions. And if the future feels unclear, the Justice card can be impartial and help reframe your reality and remove any biases you have. So really, this card is all about seeking out the truth, seeking balance, and really reflecting on the good and bad in the past to understand what you need to step into in the future. Lead with honesty, lead with goodness, and that's where justice is at. So I'm going to end today's episode with that. Tune in next week as we continue jumping through the not major arcana. Join me next week as we continue to journey through the minor arcana. Next week, we'll be breaking down the 3 and 4 of wands. I'm looking forward to it. See you next week. Thank you for listening to Tea and Tarot with Yashna. This episode was produced, hosted, and edited by me, Yashna Bensel, and brought to you by Tea Time Podcasts. The tarot reading was done using the Lightseers deck by Chris Ann, and all card visuals were from the Lightseers deck and the Rider-Waite by the Tarot deck. Research was done using Wikipedia, The Ultimate Guide to Tarot by Liz Dean, Tarot for Lightseers by Chris Ann, and many, many Google searches. Music was made using SoundRaw. Join me next week for another episode of Tea and Tarot.